Everyone, and a very warm welcome here to round 3 of the RPL Le Mans series. We're kicking off here back over at Monza after what has been a very thrilling weather impacted event at Monza, and previously from our first round back in Qatar, and we're now over into the third of 10 here as we're going to look over down to Imola. We're going to have a look for the standings very well quickly. Qualifying is indeed underway though, as we're going to look back up ahead. Hughes indeed sets the fastest lap with Joshua Makahi 2 seconds off. So Hughes has done pretty good so far to hold on down for the lead as Philip Bailey manages to respond. He's going to be making his first Le Mans Ultimate appearance here since back in pre-season testing over in the previous round, and he will be 1/10 clear. Of course, donating the Peugeot for himself as well. So Phil and Josh are going to hold on to a Peugeot 1-2 as it stands, as he's going to go for onto the gravel, but no momentum has properly been lost on his end. But not quite yet out to the end for him. Alex Norris is going to look to recover from what was been his heartbreak. He's about 2/10 away from Josh Hughes' time, but at least he managed to be the fastest out of anyone else, I believe. Actually, Philip has managed to improve for this second sector, so he's going to be about a 10th off. At least he is quicker than what Hughes is going to do. What's going to be BMW able to do through the final series of corners that Norris goes? Of course, no relation to Lando. We'll be able to see what can he do. Gonna go through, cross down to the line, just a brief yellow flag to the line, and it's a good representative line on the time board. Almost matches for that onto Phil, about 1/10 off away. We're going to see Barrett from his outlap now. Navarro is going to set his representative lap time. Didn't score any points last time round coming through his DNF at Lesmo, but he's going to look to try if he can improve improve in here. Here we go, down through Perella, out from 10, and then technical section, 11, 12, 13 of Akima Ali. And then out there, just a pretty good exit indeed from himself. For that day out is going to be, as I mentioned, a very difficult chicane, notoriously difficult. Probably up the likes of Monza Turn 1. The difference has been a shorter run indeed up through that field. So Navarro has got navigate seems to be pretty well for here. As I just realised that I've not put the dust up audio indeed. Apologise for that, viewers. But let's see what Navarro can do. It's going to be personal bests all the way throughout the board, so it's going to be mightily impressive to see what he can do. He'll go for across the line and does displace Josh up into 4th, and Joshua will be about 1/10 away from that position from what Jordan has set. So definitely keep an eye for these two to see how the battle will continue off between these two. Phil Bailey's into the pits. He's not going to be looking to improve though. Josh Hughes is on for his outlap, and Alex Norris is going to go into the pits. So really to see Navarro if he can improve any more. He's not looking to go into the pits again. 26-2. I think that's similar to the likes of what Alex Norris just up ahead can do. Again, 1 was 0.1, just shy off the leaders indeed. And indeed, back over at Monza had their highest amount of cars up onto the field with 10. And could be looking for that. I think we're just scheduling for 6 cars in for the time being. A lot of people that are higher on the championship are definitely not here for today. So that is indeed something to keep off on note. We'll see what anyone else can do. This is going to be for Ravaz 17 out to 18. 2 very similar. Gets almost through 180 degrees. And then down through, flat out through 19. Throughout the Mazda. Goes through the line. And it'll be still 4th for Navarro. Actually, can't quite push it up yet ahead of Makahi. Three people though, still as it stands. TL Barrett sets his lap time though. He gets himself up into 4th. Very good there from the Porsche driver. I think that will allow for everyone onto the field now as it stands, with Hughes, Phil, Alex, Tian, and Navarro. Josh Wakai. Qualified's about halfway done now. 10 minutes left to go here for the race. Pretty high ambition here from a lot of drivers to see what they can possibly do. Of course, Barrett, very, very strong last time out, but couldn't really do much to, again, close the gap to Josh Hughes as in last time round, but in a similar fashion, couldn't do much to, I think, do one better. As I just want to have a quick look over if the chat is indeed on. It is indeed on. So everyone for watching, hello. Hope you're all having a fantastic evening. Apologies if I did not record the earlier bits of qualifying. I accidentally pressed start recording and not start streaming, so bit of a rookie mistake error from me. See how Barrett though through the line won't be actually about 400ths away from Norris. Phenomenal work indeed from him. Bit shaky out from the exit, and we'll keep hold of that for the time being. So still looking good for now. Through the first sector he goes. Out tap, toss up. Tossa has, I think, probably the slowest section through on track. We might be able to see from Navarro though for how a lap is going to look like in these hypercars. Getting out for the exit of 13. A short stretch of racetrack up ahead. Messegger in the Ferrari will be the hometown hero here for Italy, with Ferrari going pointless last time round. Maybe it could be looking for something one better, but could it be possible for the 83 Ferrari to hold on through? Out from the exit now, and we're going to slowly be able to start to see through his final lap. There we go, on board with him now. Out from the exit. And through a lap of Imola we go. Using as maximum the gear as possible all the way up through to 6th gear. Nearly approaching through Tamburello at 300 kilometers an hour before braking. Using much for the curb as he possibly can. A bit too deep. Out from turn 3. Through on the grass. Onto 4. Is he going to keep it on through? He will not keep it on through. A bit too much of the gravel, but that is completely fine. He'll be able to go through again once again. Up from the exit there, Varante Villeneuve through coming 5, 3 to 6. The curbs are notoriously deep, and yeah, bit of a struggle there. Slowest part up through the corridor, 90 kilometers an hour through the apex. Pretty good exit out. Going out through 8, turn 8, a very slight kick over. Changes the momentum just ever so slightly, and then it means you need to make your line better through turn 9 and Perlatala. Out for 8 to 10, another bit of a king. Swings run through, downhill over to 11 to McCartney. Gonna go right back uphill, through to 12 and 13, near almost chicane. And narrows down the line just ever bit. Very difficult to go side by side racing with here, as Fernando Snegger does ever so. Out through 14 and 15, very difficult chicane. Need to be wary of the sausage clips, don't take too much of the curb. And just keep it on through as best as you possibly can. Use up for the curb to try and exit for a better straight line exit as you can. Another kick over through 16 means a hunks down for the outside line to break through Ravaza. Out from 17, a slight accelerate before another break again through 18. Out from a good exit he does, through to 19 in Ravaza he goes. As another slight kick, but it's not going to be much of a momentum change for himself though. Through across the line, it will only be DB 7th for Ferdinand. Oh. I think we don't have anyone else coming through yet, so could need to be 6 cars. Dion Barrett will need go out through again. And everyone else is just gently waiting for the timer to slowly tick down, as I'm just going to have a look through onto attendance. I think got a couple, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're expecting 10 drivers here through today. I think we might be having a bit of reasoning as to why Phil has gotten maybe so quick. The penalties for the biases have, the result biases have been applied. So I think we're just going to have a look to see if it's still going to happen. Fernando's maybe going to go for a representative time on his end. Personal best is all around, so it's going to be quite enough to make a storm up for the field. Could be eyeing one better than Josh at P6. Maybe Navarro if he ever so wishes. But that'll be quite a bit of a gap though. 6/10, he'll just split between Josh and Navarro, as there will be an improvement through the final sector for himself. Although notoriously very quick though, than both Navarro and Mackay in the final sector. So all good for Fernand to set a representative lap time up to the board. 3 minutes and 50 left to go. So I think we're just missing a couple of drivers as it stands. So we'll see how much more that can change. Oh my goodness me! What was that? And that was Hughes. That was Hughes. That was, he crashes over into, I believe that could have been Akime Manane. As let's have a look for the replay to see what has happened for him. This is going to go through to 11 and 12. Is it a get on the grass? Oh my goodness me, what a tank slapper that was, and loses his rear wing. But at least the good news to do it in such a situation like this is indeed in Imola during qualifying. So you're effectively not much at loss here. See, Barrett is going to go for a representative lap time onto his field, 26.5 for him. 5/10 off though from his not even a personal best even on his end, so could be a bit of a struggle. Navarro's scheduling for the pits, but he's a personal best on the first sector, so I wonder if it's just a bit of a misinput there. Out through tonight, out through 10. Breaking through 12-13. Oh my goodness me, that was never going to work. And the BMW driver onto the gravel. That is going to be the second time that we've seen David and his end suffer. 1 minute 50 to go. Hughes has a chance to potentially make it 3 race wins in a row, show that the bias doesn't really affect him. Again, the closest that he has been swiped off from his fingers was indeed back at the previous round in Monza, where Norris was effectively almost leading from start to finish, and well, complete and utter travesty. Never ended up to be that way. So we'll see what else could be up on the board. Tion Barrett also the only other driver to go through, although I wonder if could be invalidated. I think it might be invalidated though. Staying back with Hughes now. Oh, goodness me, that is too much on the gravel. That will not be an improvement for Hughes. And I wonder if that might be it for everyone, because there's only so much time that we have left. And we're slowly going to get over through to the tower. 30 seconds left to go. Barrett's the only one that has really another go at this. as everyone else is into the pit. As let's see, he's going to go through the chicane. The timer is slowly going to cut down, and that will be qualifying over. And a very, very interesting qualifying, as we have just seen through across the board. And we will slowly bring up through to the results right away. And indeed, Josh Hughes, another pole to... no, he's... I think this might be his first pole, I believe. I'm not entirely sure. Please do not quote me on that, but it's still very phenomenal. Phil Bailey, he's up and through onto second. Alex Norris in third. Jan Barrett fourth. Jordan Navarro fifth. And Fernand Messenger sixth, with Joshua McKay rounds up for the people that have sat through their timed ones. Alright, that was pretty interesting of a qualifying, I must say. So we're going to slowly get it down through to the race. But until then, we're going to look at through the standings of what has happened over Josh Hughes. Again, double race win in a row means that he has 52 points and 33 clear out. Tian Barrett in second, John Jack Williams third. Won't make it appear today, so he's going to lose out to Alex Norris and co. And then McGill are also not here for today, so Tian Barrett, good chance to get some points overall in his quest for the championship. Cameron Fields over in fifth is not here as well. Josh McKay is here. He will get points if he finishes. Same with Fernand Messenger, and that will be it. Also with Jordan Navarro as well. But the Toyota for Hughes and Fields makes up for 60 points, and then everyone else is effectively just their own team as it now. So Tian Barrett, sole contributor for Porsche, apart from Peugeot with Williams and Makahi, 33 points each, so they both share second place as it stands, 22-7 up drift from Toyota. BMW from Norris, the sole contributor through the BMW, the Porsche, with the sole contributor of Miguel, and everyone else is effectively scoreless as it stands. So a quick overlook through the starting order of today's race. It's going to be Josh Hughes up through the front row with Phil Bailey over at second. So very good performances there from Hughes all around. Followed by Alex Norris just slowly through behind in Ray 2 with Tion, but we'll have to have him for company. And then following on through with Jordan Navarro with Fernand Messenger in second Ferrari. So he'll be the home favourite here. And following on through to complete through the row will be Joshua McKay. So impressive there. I think we have Enya in with the race as well. It's boosted up quite substantially, so Josh will have Enya indeed for company. But Josh Hughes got a lot of work to do, as we're going to wait to see how this will happen. He's going to be on for the outside line, which will turn into the inside line for turn 1, so we'll do enough to fend off from Phil, although I think it's the way it stands. It's could be potential to see how this will change. They're going to wait for the green flag to drop. 8 cars here today here at Imola, and the 17 minutes is undertaken once again. Phil Bailey has a much better exit indeed, and will maybe just about lead from Josh Hughes. Almost going to be going 3 abreast though between Barrett. Oh my goodness me, there's going to be a bit of contact. Hughes has to go defensive onto Phil, while Phil's trying to go for aggressive, and Tian almost makes it look free wide through the home stretch. It doesn't quite work. Alex Norris able to try and pick up the pieces. Can't really do it. Look at this from Ferdinand. Here it is, 0 to hero here for himself, and maybe looking down for the inside on the Villeneuve. This is going to be extraordinarily close, and Norris has to try and fend off, and my goodness me, Ferdinand has to go off to the gravel, but defends Josh to hold on to P6 for the time being for now. And look at this up through to the background now. Josh is still heading onto the back from Enya just up ahead and looking through up and ahead. Alex Norris still held off from Navarro for the time being, and Josh Hughes meanwhile through up ahead is still pushing through that gap between himself and Phil, with Tion Barrett just over behind, makes it over to 1 second already. But Phil meanwhile, I think with that less of a weight now, is going to be able to apply the pressure onto Josh Hughes as he possibly can through to the chicane that they both go, maybe make it for the move. It's not going to be quite. Look, Enya meanwhile onto the inside. inside onto Joshua. This is going to be over for P7. He is going to make it work out. What a great move that will be. That would be a kick of the grass there from Ferdinand. And side by side between Navarro and Norris. This is going to be BW supremacy for P4. And Navarro will just about fend up from ahead. My goodness me, what opportunistic pass over Messinager. And he'll have to make the move. And he does make the move. Phenomenal there from the Ferrari. All the way from P7 up onto P5. And a phenomenal, indeed, performance for himself. Norris had to back off there, and the man that was leading the race all the way through is looking to be in very, very grave trouble. Could not be the points hole that he was trying to look to recover from Monza. That was be too deep for the first corner. That'll allow for Alex to be able to capitalize on it, and he will be much better exit out from turn 4, looking over to Villeneuve. He won't. He has to back off just a bit for the time being, and will still hold on. And tension through up ahead. 3:10 separates between Hughes and Phil as the tower is going to draw up onto the screen to your left hand side. Hughes still leads 55 tenths off with Barrett 2 seconds off. About a second between himself and Ferdinand behind, and just about 3 tenths off there between Messinager and Norris. McGillor and McCahey split off, so 8 cars, as we mentioned through before, with an hour and 7 minutes left to go. Really anyone's guess is to see who will possibly come out through on top, as well as the gaps between themselves on your screen. Closest battle though, Navarro, Barrett. So, oh my goodness me, Ferdinand, too much onto the gravel, and he's lost a bit of time. Actually, he's still ahead of Norris. Not surprised Norris isn't able to capitalize for that, unless they both went onto the gravel, which would be quite unpeculiar. But indeed, still holds on through for now. Up for the 2, 3, 4. But could be possible. That was a kick of the gravel. Up for ahead. And look up ahead. Barrett under pressure from Navarro. So you're going to see Hughes, Phil, Barrett, Navarro, and Norris and Messinager. I think Norris overtook him, so I was saying fake TB, fraud on pole. And look at this, Ferdinand trying to apply for the pressure, can't really do much, but will still hold on through. Josh is just losing the gap too, heading up ahead, a bit of the wiggle out from the chicane, but he still holds on to it for now. Yeah, that's just a kick in the gravel. I'm not quite sure who that might be. That could be Ferdinand. But here we go. Closest battle on track now. Phil really applied through to the pressure. Both of them donning the Swansea Motorsport, Swansea University Motorsport colour greens between these two drivers. So, sure, a bit of sort of pride for supremacy between these two, maybe. Again, Hughes has been relatively unmatched though, and could be out from the exit though. That Phil goes, still applying through the pressure onto Hughes, just trying to see if there will be any way for him to budge whatsoever. Chicane is a notorious overtaking opportunity, but the sausage curbs will be a hindrance factor there, I think, for Phil. I don't think that's his wireframe turned on, or could very much well be. Out from the exit though, Phil goes. We'll have the stream a bit to his advantage. off from the exit though, and he'll still hold on through to the time being. The first two chicanes, they both go, and still holding on through to that position as they stand, going through 2-5, through to 6 for Villeneuve, down through 7 onto Tossa. Later on the brakes may be a bit of a further advantage for Phil, but still not quite enough. He's just going to be able to fend off for the time being and just, you know, stick in behind. Through this chicane they all go. Let's see here. Through that very technical one though. It's still about 3/10 off. But they can't really seem to make the move. Look at the tension of those back though. I think we're going to see Josh make the move onto Enya, and he does so. I think Enya trying to go for defensive. Wasn't quite much that he could do. Tension from the front though. Nora said Navarro 2/10 off. So we've seen these two battle a bit before, so now it's going to be exchanging positions maybe between Norris and Navarro. Norris indeed recovering from his form. Dropped over from Navarro and from Fernand behind, and now we'll be able to climb up back up to front. Three tenths off down between these two. Hard braking zone down for turn 2. I think Alex might have a bit much for on the brake gap. Holds up for now. And through the Tossa they both go. Again, the notorious, very difficult braking zone indeed. Not sure for the Phil. About 3/10 off. Down through 12 and 13 they go. Braking over, using that chicane. Gonna need to get through a good exit. I think he does so a bit, but don't think he's applying that much pressure onto Hughes as much as he would have hoped. As looking over through. Thanks for watching the 4 viewers here watching through today. As Norris still continuing through to play. Through the exits that these two go on through to turn 1, so good for all the Suchers come though. Pretty good out from the exit. So again, anyone's real guess as to see to who could possibly come through on top. Down a bacon zone through here. Just using that slipstream to his advantage, but it's not really much happening though. No real purchase, no real dramatic effects now for the time being. It's all seemed to be quieted down as it's gone past the hour. And we will have indeed another hour left to go. Of course, scheduled pit stops is indeed planned all around. And look at this, Navarro and Norris are catching up collectively together up to Barrett up ahead. So that could also be pretty important for how the race goes on through in the long run. Oh my goodness me, think they've seen a front jump to Phil. Josh Hughes, this is going to be it side by side. What an overtake though from Phil. This will be coming out through the final corner through to turn 1. Josh will be able to respond, looking for the switch gap, probably down for turn 2. And he's going to be able to look on through. Phil does not budge and holds on through to his racing line and still holds on to the race lead. Complete side by side action here between these two. And Phil holds on through to the lead. And very phenomenal, I must say. For the man, I was about a tenth off from the pole sitter on Hughes. Hughes will have to do a lot of work in order to be able to respond here in this case. I think Hughes might be suffering from a higher weight, so again, just that's just sort of the thing that we can see from himself. We're on to the exit. Hughes goes. He'll just still be able to maybe look back and can be able to muster through his way and just take a look out for his surroundings and I think Enya's was off. We'll have a look for a replay to see what happened between himself. Oh, goodness me. So this is coming through 11, 12, 13. Oh dear. And onto the gravel he goes. Very unfortunate, but keeps on through. And he lost 10 seconds or so to Josh as well, so he must have had like another spin as well. However, we're seeing a similar situation to what we have seen before. Oh goodness me, that was squiggly. Another squiggle. Oh dear. And yep, so he's already lost so much time from that. 8 tenths though between Navarro and Norris. Oh goodness me, that was quite close from Navarro, just really pushing through to his car down to the limits. From the apex down for turn 2 and 3. Oh goodness me, Tank Slapper out from 7. Still manages to keep a hold of it. And you can see there as the crowd indeed goes wild with Navarro. Oh goodness me! Navarro has gone sideways! Oh goodness me! Reverses back into Ferdinand! And that would be too much further on the sausage curb. I was definitely not expecting that at all in this fight. And it's going to be a complete roadblock from Makahi as well. Oh my goodness me. And he loses so much momentum to catch up through to Barrett. And that will allow for Alex Norris to get up that position. Oh god! Oh goodness me! No way! Oh dear, and he's lost his rear wing from that in the process, from that slide coming out through the chicane. Is he going to be able to drive, I wonder? Oh, he's missing a wheel. Oh dear. Can he can drive? No, he can't drive. And that'll be a first retirement of the day. Just want to see, just... Because I was not expecting that at all. Because he was really driving his life on the line here, so... Oh dear. It looked like that he was taking that. Oh, he tried to correct it. Oh, it's a lockup. Oh dear. And then through the exit onto the final corner he goes. Bonk. And our first retirement? Indeed. Meanwhile, looking up there, there's Alex Norris. Gonna look for a move on to Tian Barrett. Looking very close. We can see though. See you there on the top left. 50 minutes left to go. All to lose there, vote for Barrett. Closest battle on track that we have thus far between this battle for P3. Barrett has always seemed to be put in strong contention with best of the rest, along with Alp Williams. And it could be a way to further cement that sort of accolade here. A bit too much shots through onto the exit. We can see. Oh, yellow flag. Oh, goodness me. Kick out for the curb, though. Okay, I think I might know who the yellow flag might be for. But we'll look back in just a minute. Do a bit of a tank sepper there. For Barrett. Not to use through the sausage curb. That Norris goes. There we go. Almost looking for a move. Is it going to make it work? No, it's not. And not at all. Not at all. Although he might have a look for again. He does not. He absolutely does not indeed for now. Very close though. Look at her throw down to the inside. And to toss it might actually make it work. He's going to swing it through the inside. Almost contact actually with the Porsche. But still through holds it on. We have another retirement thus far. I'm not quite sure who that might have. That was actually Enya. Enya is claimed through our second retirement of the day. How unfortunate for him. Gonna stay on board with him now. Is it a similar like chicanery that we see before? This is coming through. Ah, so this is coming through the final three corners. Again, difficult. Oh goodness me! Tank Slapper, does he manage to correct it? He does correct it, and bonk down, and pretty sad for him. I want to stay with Mr. Egger because he was just ahead of Josh, but then he lost it somehow. Oh, goodness me. So, there we go. Running the board with it now, so this is coming out through to 9, I believe. Oh, that was too much on the grass, and that'll be all they can do, and Joshua just effectively goes past and does indeed. You can see there Barrett and Norris still in the midst of their kerfuffle as it stands. 48 minutes so left to go through the Volante Alta. They go. Norris really applying through the pressure on Barrett. Barrett still holding on through. Down to Ravaza. Lot on the curb. But still nothing to really displace of these two a bit for now. Yes, we could just see through the gap onto bottom of your screen. 5 tenths indeed. Pushing out to 6 tenths, so better exit indeed for Barrett than Norris. Last lap time indeed, 2 tenths. Norris was faster, I believe, than Barrett. So, possibilities all around indeed. 6 cars left. Tank leopard there from Norris. He can't do much to hold up through, so he'll just funnel on down for the time being and just take it easy for a bit. Oh goodness me, there's another yellow flag. Who that one might be? That is Ferdinand once again, and that is a retirement. Another retirement in today's race. Damn, that is highly unfortunate. I think that looked to be in the same position that we have seen before. As I'll look for a replay. Oh, this is going to go for turn 1. So he's already a bit far back from Josh. So no, it's not too much on. It's not too much onto the grass. That's fine. But it's grass onto that third of the of the complex through Tamburello, and that will allow him to be another retirement. How unfortunate. Phil really doing all that he can though throughout the field to hold on down to that lead fairly comfortably. Norris and Barrett though still in the midst of their fight for P3 and could come in anyone's either's way. In the next series of laps through Costa they go, and again just defending very well. Using the slipstream, it will make further move if he wants to, but can't quite do much to do it. Just fends off for a bit for the time being. And from the exit there, going for Keenan Milani in for 11, breaking hard for 13, 14, 12, 13. He's trying to look for a move, trying to look for any sort of move. Oh, goodness me, a lock up there from Barrett, and that's going to compromise for his exit, and it does so. Norris will allow to go through. Barrett up into P. Barrett drops down to P4. Norris up into P3. And that will be very important. That'll be extremely important for Norris, though. They're up to P3 he goes. And bit of a travesty, shall we say, for everyone else. There we go, through the chicane we go. Upcoming, rather. Norris will still hold on fairly comfortably. And still holds on a bit for the time being. the gap is just slowly spreading off a bit. Again, Mackay 20 seconds adrift. Barrett and Norris still the closest that we have seen through on action. 2 seconds off Hughes and Norris. 5 seconds off adrift, and then Hughes is 3.6 off for Bailey. Not on through. It has extended it to 2.3 seconds, so Norris is indeed just pulling away for now. But it could be a different story though, especially when you've got the pit stops up to play for. We're gonna have a look for the rich energy remaining. 33 for Bailey, but Hughes, Norris, and Barrett all on the same percentage. We expect them to pit a bit later than Phil does. So, again, completely reasonable to see who can maybe come up for on top. Hard braking zone for the series of corners upcoming. It still just makes it on through. And we'll do so comfortably up into that position. You can see Hughes using just a bit more than Norris is, and Barrett from the temperature is degrading, so a key part to play. Everyone else on 0 stops though, so no one has yet made their scheduled stops yet, which is interesting to keep on for a mind. No one's going to think that the up for a mind, and indeed it's been pretty interesting though. Almost coming down to what we have seen for 5-car field, back like what we've seen over in Qatar, but completely very different reasons through the board. Absolutely. Phil and Josh pushes up to 4.4 seconds. Norris, and it's now stagnated actually. If you can look over gap to next, nearly 4 seconds between each other, between first to fourth. 12 seconds indeed, and then after that Mackay quite far off as a result. Best lap 1:31.343 by Phil, followed by Norris at 31.6 and Josh 31.69, and then Tion Barrett 31.90. See there, Barrett in the background though, he's don't quite give it up though. So we'll have an opportunity to maybe catch up through. Bit on the gravel though. Barrett goes. I think he just seems to be suffering a bit, but I think we'll be a bit fine for now. Actually, not actually. Phil is pulling away from Josh. 5 seconds now, indeed, and Alex Norris stagnates still at 3.6. Hughes and Norris closest one for a truck that we have now. Tian Barrett though, meanwhile, through behind 4.3. It's just gaining more and more and more, as we can see.
Hello, dear. Just wanted to congratulate you once you're out of the commentary box. It's not been the greatest afternoon for me. I just keep getting screamed at by my mother, and I don't really like screaming. Yeah, I might be a bit more distant in the afternoon because I don't want to be on the PC. I don't want to get my mom angry any extra, just as I was sending the audio, I see your message. I really need some head rubs. I love you, honey. Always, always, always. I'll try to make things better for tomorrow, okay? Take care, dear.
Looking up through onto ahead. The gap Norris and Hughes is slowly catching up a bit. 3 seconds for the time being. 36 minutes left over to go through on the clock, as you can see through the top right. Look at that BMW just powering through that pressure and prowess as much as he possibly can through. See if he can do anything. Three put one. Oh my goodness me! Josh Hughes has gone off and off, and he was allowed to rejoin just ahead of Norris. But my goodness me, that was so out of nowhere. Almost so to what we've seen back with Navarro. Again, Navarro being the first DNF through ahead. And will be under immense pressure now from Norris. This is going to be for the battle for P2 with 34 minutes left to go. Look at this, Hughes having to go defensive from Norris. Norris maybe looking to take on for revenge on Hughes for what happened back at Monza for overtaking. I didn't really think that through, but you know, could indeed be possible throughout the board. There you go, through. Exit there. 4/10 off. From the exit, Hughes goes. It's just anything they can possibly do through the fend off. It was just such an uncharacteristic mistake he made. This will really put Hughes down for his braking zone because he doesn't have the lead anymore. Phil has got that and has now come up through to 8 seconds. Sideways out, but Norris will also have a bit further onto the gravel, so that both of them have indeed been equalized from that. Hughes is gently pulling away though from Norris from the Oh my goodness me, Hughes has gone too deep. Allows for Norris to be able to capitalize maybe from the chicane. Gonna be going side by side. That Norris will even make the move before the chicane. And I truly think this will be Norris's maybe to lose for the outside, unless if Hughes does something really good here. Slams the door right onto him and still holds on through to P2. Hughes just got a lot of work on his plate to fend off from Norris. They're going to be very comfortable ahead. 10 seconds apart between Phil and Hughes, and also 10 seconds off between Norris and Barrett. So it is going to be the closest jump that we have on here for the time being. Norris trying to look through here. Nothing up to avail for himself. It just has to stick down through behind for the time being. As they over for turn 7 they go. Tight on the line. Oh my goodness me, off for the sausage curb. Both Norris and Hughes go. Hughes will have to defend from Norris. Out gonna be through the slipstream now. Very, very tight through. Oh, 17, 18. That was a bit of a rear wagging moment from Hughes. Allows for Norris to capitalize. And we'll have the slipstream from the home stretch. Is he going to make the move? He might make the move for the final corner. They go, here we go. We're going to be side by side, straight flat out for turn 1. Tabarano is going to be the difference maker between these two. If they're even going to be going side by side, Hughes manages to later break it on and is going to try and defend. Norris almost has luck for the switchback, but Hughes carries for enough speed to defend him off for now. Field nerve upcoming now through the chicane that they both go. Actually, Norris is the one that's going to back off on this, and Hughes has to take up for the leader line. I think we're going to see Norris looking over through the hairpin. Bit of a wiggle though. Oh my goodness me, he's gone way too wide. Could have allowed for Norris to capitalize, but doesn't do it for whatever reason, and still just falls over to third. I think he actually was a bit rear heavy, so it was a bit more unstable for Alex to make that such move. So can indeed see where he's coming from. Well, I mean, we can definitely see this battle has been set alight between these two. Pretty much on Hughes' mistakes, rather. Does mean he has the opportunity to pull away if he so wishes. Phil Bale fastest up 3:34.3. As we've said before, scheduled pit stops indeed expected through all around. Oh my goodness me, Norris! That will be way too much through onto the Tamarello, and without lockup, as now gave Hughes the much needed distance he needs. Barrett's making his first scheduled stop. That's why he's ahead of Makahi, so I think he's the only one so far to have made his scheduled stop, so we're going to see what tyre company he's going to be able to come through with. My goodness me, if he's going to come up for the wets, I will scream, but I don't think he will. With 26 minutes left to go and the sun fully shining, Norris will also follow on through behind into the pits. That will be Josh Hughes making to make his pit stop himself. And Barrett will be out on the mediums. Norris is going to be the next one coming in. He's conceded his battle with Hughes a bit for the time being, and will indeed change for a compound. Maybe a bit for damage as well if he ever needs to be. Of course, the gravel can indeed put a little bit of wear to the floor, so that could indeed be a bit of a possibility. Bill making his scheduled stop soon next lap. Josh Wall as well, and Hughes is hoping to make it long. He will have to be unlapped by Barrett after the way it stands. Could be applied pressure here, as we can just see Norris exiting out through the pits now. And Phil will go in, along with, and Norris will come out. I think everyone might be switching just to the mediums now for today's. For now. Wow, that is way too much for the track that Joshua took. Still keeps on through on track and still keeps the hold, so I think that might be the signs that the tires are indeed going for himself. So a pit very soon for Josh would mean that he can climb up for a head. So Phil into the pits now, and Hughes will be through it as well. Josh will indeed enter soon. Joshua will indeed enter, sorry, as Josh himself comes out. I think it's very, very far clear, I believe. Like, don't think Norris is really going to catch up that much. And there is Joshua was scheduled to pit this lap, I thought, so I guess he'll be going for the next lap, so he'll temporarily hold on to the race lead for now. Hughes will come out. A 2 second more gap to Phil. So I think Phil must have had either a quicker pit stop. "23 minutes left to go here. Everyone else still onto the mediums. See with the energy remaining onto your screen. Mackay on 3%. Bailey Hughes. So Bailey Hughes effectively on the same percentage. Norris will have 2% more. And Barrett will have most out of anyone. So expect him to be a bit more aggressive than the drivers who are up front. Here we go, the two Peugeot drivers. He's going to break on through soon. Maybe into the pits. Oh, goodness me, Phil! Onto the gravel. But Joshua will head over to the pits, meaning that he will no longer need be a hindrance to Phil's later charge. I think that might have cost him a bit though from that gravel, because it's cost him about a second, because it was 11 seconds. It's now down to 10, 9, as you can see on the board. There you go. Josh is going to exit for the pits now. Oh, goodness me. We have a collision up the head. Who? Oh, goodness me. That was a jump scare and a half there. I wonder how that happened. Oh, that is actually, that's so much damage now. He'll have to go through to the pits. Oh, he's lost his wheel. Come on, Bart. Come on. Come on. Just keep it through on track. Just pit. If he can pit, it'll be very valuable points to him. Out from the exit. And he will enter into the pits. Hopefully it won't be a retirement. That damage does look repairable. But yeah, that is a very big scratch onto him. Well, while he gets repaired, let's have a look for the replay to see what has happened, because I think that was also happening through that chicane as well, as we're going to look over with Barrett. You can already hear the tires kind of locking up a bit. I think he was really trying to go for his all here. Oh god. Oh dear. Doesn't seem to be... that seemed to maybe cause the trouble in the suspension, because the steering is not correctly straight. And then... oh. That is weird. Did he lose his wheel? He already lost his wheel. Oh dear. So he did lose that wheel coming for here, and bonk. And that wiped the wheel clean out from his chassis. He will be able to finish the race though, because he's still in the pits. So he's not called it retirement yet. And then I think it was just hard for him to... I mean, honestly, kudos to him for even getting through that far to complete the race onto 3 wheels. Yeah. I just want to see for the chicane though, because... Here we go through the chicane. Yeah, it's big struggle. Don't really blame him. Lace with magic and perfect timing, he is repaired, so he'll be able to go up there again, 3 laps down from the leader, and we'll have a drive for penalty for speed in the pit lane. So that's fun. I mean, it's gone through this far. If the pit did as long as it took for an entire replay, then I don't really see any like big situation for himself to maybe not serve it, but who knows? We'll see how that happens. Gap between Hughes and Phil now down to 8 seconds now. 17 minutes left to go through today's race. Super comfortable gap though. That Phil has from Hughes. Norris and Mackay just can't do much to follow on through. Thank you all to the viewers here watching for us today. 16 minutes left to go. Just everything seems to be put stagnated a bit for the time being. Again, Mackay, his best finish, I believe, thus far. Actually, continue over George couldn't previously. That'll be indeed very, very big for himself. Hughes and Phil, 8 seconds off adrift from each other. Under 15 minutes left to go here, under a quarter of an hour. Like, Hughes is catching up, but the thing is, if he's catching up enough, which, to be honest, I don't really think he is. Everyone has indeed made their scheduled pit stops now, so not expecting any more surprises. Barrett, I think, has served his stop and go. Stop and go, his drive-through. Mackay 45 off. Norris 10 off. the pretty big shade for Norris for that gap to, increase so vastly coming through that chicane has indeed kind of, cost him more than he would have hoped for. Of course, very, very strong at Monza, and Wood should be happy with perhaps the P3 and keep on through for the championship. This will probably be the first race that Josh Hughes will not win if the results are the way to go as they stand. Of course, that will mean that the weights will be applied. Phil will have a big task ahead of him. Come for the next race. Indeed. Just looking over through to the remaining series of the races, indeed, because it is going to be interesting to see how the rest of the season will indeed unfold. Again, the third race of the season for our debut here at Le Mans Ultimate has been pretty hectic, to say the least, both in racing action and in off-racing action. Of course, a buffer for sort of championship RPL has held in a bit of a while that doesn't utilize open world racing. Prototypes indeed kind of pushing us forth ahead. That's interesting. I've never seen that buffer before. I will continue to update you all on how the rest of the race will indeed go. Of course, no chances of rain throughout the this case here at Imola, but what happened to be very rain-induced impact over at Monza means that we will continue through on fourth to now. 5 seconds Hughes and Norris is, so Norris is catching a bit to Hughes, but also Hughes is catching up to Billy now in the nine stages of the race. As we just have a look over through to next week. Next week we'll be going over through to Portimao. It'll be our first ever Iberia race of the calendar, and then continue on through in the European continent. It'll be Spa, and that will therefore conclude through the first half of the season, and then we'll be kicking off into October at Le Mans, and then again over to Interlagos, Sebring, Fuji, and Bahrain, almost as a complete circle of the world to where we started all the way back over in August. Now under 10 minutes through left to go, and Norris is really putting his pedal down through to the floor to try and make up something to claw that gap up to Hughes. Has been lucky. They both had pretty scrappy races all the way throughout with both mistakes from each other's ends, but I've kept it clean and really put it where it mattered most. We've now got down to 3 seconds now, just under 4 seconds now for the time being. 7 minutes left to go. Could be possible. We might be seeing a last minute attempt from Norris up against Hughes for P3. Again, the stakes on the championship are indeed pretty high here for the time being. Hughes has never had finished outside the podium also throughout the entire race as well. Norris is still just trying to eye for his out from the exit though. Norris will go. Really is putting his pedal down to the floor, Norris says, but Hughes is also trying to do the same though to catch him to Phil. May not be enough though, with under 6 minutes left to go. Completely anyone's guesses to determine who could come out for on top. Under 5 minutes now left to go. It's now brought down to the 3 seconds, so it's possible. There is Hughes up in the foreground and Norris over into the background. It has gone down to 3 seconds, so it is a possibility we could be seeing a last minute gasp attempt from Norris to get P2 from Hughes. It could be looking to be Hughes' worst result if the way it would be to stand. Now it's under 4 minutes to go, 2.5 seconds. He is really giving it his all here. See you there with Norris, and we can just about bring up through the screen now. Yeah, Norris has just been substantially faster. In fact, 1 minute 30. He has really given it his all, to be honest, so he's definitely not going to try to give it up. See there, Norris out from the racing line. Able to keep hold of it. 2.5. If Josh Hughes is going to put the floor down, now would be a good chance to do so. So we're going to have a look down to their screens. Last lap time, 3/8 of a difference between Hughes and Norris. So it is going to plan that back up, 2.4, 2.3 seconds out from the exit here. And we're going to see that gap shrink down even more. 2 minutes and 50 seconds left to go. That'll be about around 2 laps or so. They're going to go for across the line. We're going to see what their lap times are have to be. Flat. They both set the same lap time through that last lap. That is incredible. I don't think I've ever seen that ever in my a year or 2 years of commentary. that I've seen the last gap through on the race to have matched the same time zone, but a kick of the dust from Norris and for the grass means that really giving it his all, but a bit too much means that he could be losing through that second place opportunity though. Just under down to 2 minutes with 2 seconds, with 2 minutes left to go. He is really giving his all here, made it up from 5 seconds to 2 seconds in the span of about 2 or 3, 4, 5 minutes. So it could be possible here, and you must feel for Hughes. He's just feeling the pressure getting to him a little bit whenever the car behind him is maybe a little bit faster than himself. 37 again, the fastest lap time from Norris compared to 31.5. So Norris on his fastest is about just nearly over a second quicker than Hughes, and Hughes will probably know this, but he's keeping his eyes forward. Up to Phil, managed to claw that gap over to 6 seconds, but that won't be enough. Too much onto the gravel. This is not exactly what he needs. With the 90 minutes, 90 seconds left onto the clock, it's now going to be all or nothing now for Hughes, and they will be going down to about maybe about 2 laps left to go because Phil has just gone for across the line. And the gravel was not exactly what Hughes has wants, as second place could be slipping away from his fingers, and Norris be able to look over through onto the charge. From the exit now. Norris has got everything he needs to possibly do here. Just climbing up, looking that gap for a bit more, but not really come to intuition, alter for anyone's favor. He's just going to look for around back now. And we'll look through another place once again. And that will be another kick up of the gravel from Josh Hughes. And that's brought down to about over a second. Bill will have to go for across the line. Maybe 30 seconds left to go. It might be very tight for the chicane. He is. I think that might be a bit too much time. Might be up here, I believe. So this could indeed be the final lap. And meanwhile, out towards the back, it's now gone down to just under a second. Is Hughes going to be able to hold it down for that long? Phil's already been able to navigate through the final 2 corners, and what an amazing result it has been for Phil out through the final corner. It will be his first race win here at Le Mans Ultimate RPL. Phil wins here at Imola. And meanwhile, down further back, Josh Hughes will just about fend off from Alex Norris to get hold of second place. And Alex Norris, without doing everything he possibly can, the best that he can do is third. Further back, Joshua McCahey will just about fend off for fourth, and Tian Barra having to be involved in a really poor damage of a car will make our ways through up into P5, but devastating for Barra, but at least he got some very valuable points down to his name. In fact, these two are going to go for a battle through the second. Second now, he's going to swing it down for the inside onto Barra. He's going to look to try and unlap himself, and Joshua will be able to try and fend off from him as much as he possibly can. Not really much for position, but I guess more or less for the pride now. Looking over here, up through the chicane, looking over for the switchback. Barrett does, but Mackay gonna have his swing through. He's going to look down for the outside line, heading over through the chicane up ahead. Is Mackay going to look over and maybe plug it on through? He is going to plug it on through, but not going to be quite enough. Barrett will be able to be just about a car width ahead from Mackay, and Joshua can't do much to fend off from there for the chicane. We'll see. Everyone else has gone through to the pits, I believe. So Dan going down through the final series, of course. Mackay able to respond. I think they're just battling each other for funsies here. Out from the gas and through the final series of corner. Who is going to win? Barra, who's 3 laps down, or Mackay is going to be super duper close. Oh my goodness me, that was entirely close and a bit of a too much onto the damage there. For Josh and for Tian, I must say. Fun race. Very, very, very fun race. But again, looking over through the standings, it is as it stands. Phil Bailey, great result from him to be 1 second, well, not 1 second, but it was about very clear, 5 seconds ahead of Josh Hughes. Just one overtake, and bam, off he went. Alex Norris in P3 with very, very close for himself with his last minute charge up to Hughes. You must imagine what will happen if we had one more extra lap in our hands. Joshua McCahey in 4th, very, very good for him to keep his nose clean amidst all the carnage up ahead, and Tian Barrett was involved in a collision, but managed to go on through. And also had a drive fit penalty, so fifth, but that will still be very valuable points up the board for himself. Ferdinand Messneger, Ilya McGillor, and Jordan Navarro are your DNFs for today's race. What an incredible race we've had, I must say. So we're going to look over through to the next race up ahead. Again, that was the standings up for week 2, so that will be updated over for week 3. But Hughes will indeed still hold on through to that lead fairly comfortably. And as we've mentioned before, very, very good results from everyone around. Phil Bailey, first race win for himself this week, this season, and also Peugeot's first ever race win, so that will boost them up very nicely. Looking over the calendar, we're going to continue on through to the European scene next, as we over to Portimao and Argov, one of the most modern motorsport venues on the world, and also probably one of the most appreciated as well in regards to its high elevation change. It's going to be a very nice, spectacular scene as we're going to continue to race here in Portugal. But until then, thank you all very much for watching. We will see you back over at Sunday, 7 p.m. GMT, same time, same place, and we'll continue over through with more LMU Realistic Performance League action. I've been Amir. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time.